You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards.
Live in our studio.
Yeah, we're back together. We are not virtual. This is not a Zoom recording. This is in person, the real thing, coming off a hot weekend of racing at the Daytona Demolition Derby.
That was awesome, dude. Except for the 30 hours I waited to see the race conclude.
That was the biggest part. Like, I was frustrated with the whole thing yesterday, and it had everything to do with the fact that the race should have been over Saturday night. So I'd been waiting and waiting and waiting. I mean, you had rain delays Friday. That race didn't start till midnight. Didn't end till like 2 in the morning. And then you had Saturday just got postponed at 7. It was postponed.
I stream everything, so I went to USA Network on my Sling app.
I was able to drive home from New York before the end of the race.
I put in 6 hours of recording from 12 to 6 p.m. And then Brad texts me while I'm at church.
Yeah,
Are you recording the race? It starts at 10. I'm like, dude, what?
You missed it all.
On CNBC. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting home till 1. I'm getting the wrong channel. So I got like 6 hours of Law and Order. That's more important than the race.
Heck yeah, man. That's Law and Order.
Luckily, after the big crash.
Are you caught up on Law and Order now?
I deleted it. After the big crash where Stenhouse flew and it started raining, they replayed the entire race up until that point.
So you didn't miss anything.
I caught up.
Well, we got home. I was able to get home, get the car unloaded. Race went yellow, and it went green.
Didn't you start the race in Buffalo and ended it here in Atlanta?
No, I was probably
with a stay at a hotel.
I was in Ohio when I started the race in Ohio. Got to Kentucky for the night. Got back in the car, finished the race, or got all the way from Kentucky to Georgia, and then watched the end of the race. So it started somewhere in Ohio. Is where the TV coverage started. I started watching pre-race coverage in Ohio. So
your wife was driving, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I drove up until race time, and then she drove. That's how we determined who drove at what point in time.
Yeah, so she drove most of the way home. Since the race took forever?
Home. Yeah, she drove most of the way home. But it was a good race, or at least I got to see what I got to see. So
basically we had 4 days of racing with only Xfinity
2 days
and
worth
Cup,
of racing.
And there's no truck series.
It was too much. It was too little too much.
It sucked.
It messed me all up, man. All right, so going into this week, Kurt Busch decides to withdraw his waiver. I told you he was going to do it last week. I hated to be the conspiracy guy. Well, I didn't really hate to be the conspiracy guy because we're really good at being conspiracy guys.
It failed, dude.
Yeah, I know. So
Total failure.
If the whole purpose was to get Truex in, then it didn't work. Honestly, I wish he wouldn't have withdrawn it because to me, it was more exciting going into that race with one spot open.
But hold it. Let's go in our time machine. Go back in time. What did I say? He and the 12 need to hang out at the back of the pack.
Oh, no doubt.
And if they would have done that, they would have finished top 20.
If they would have ran around with Cody Ware all day, they'd have been okay.
Cody finished 6th. They would have been top 10.
Truex finished 8th. He just didn't gain the points needed because he was in the accidents. Blaney.
Poor guy.
Blaney got screwed. And that was really the 11's fault, but I don't know.
But that kind of adds to your conspiracy, doesn't it?
Yeah. So
11 owns 23-11.
Exactly. So he's getting his money back.
And he caused the wreck.
Taking out the 12.
Yep.
So that's like extra insurance. And they still, all that, through all the money.
Still didn't take out the 12.
Through all the crap, the 12 still gets in.
What was that, about $10 million worth of cars?
If that was in fact a conspiracy, it failed completely. So hopefully it's not. And Kurt just did the thing because Kurt might not be coming back and he didn't want to hold a spot.
You think Joe Gibbs called his bank and said, hey, I need to cancel that check?
Look, I have all the respect in the world for Kurt Busch because...
No, it is about his health. I mean,
yeah, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You know, I think Dale Jr. set a precedent when he did what he did, and Kurt's just following in the correct footsteps, putting his health over racing, and I think that's a good thing.
And it's fun to speculate, but yeah, because bottom line, Kurt Busch needs to continue living. Because
probably, 20 or 50 years, they didn't put health first?
Man, they barely wore helmets.
So 2023 will mark the 75th season of NASCAR racing, and they have a new logo that's going to be a special 75th edition logo that they've just now revealed. It looks like a diamond. I could really care less what it looks like, to be honest with you. But
you know, today is our 30th episode, and you and I both said it would never last.
That's true.
We didn't even self-fulfill our own prophecy.
We overachieved.
We did.
30 episodes. That's awesome, man. Thanks to everybody who listens. We greatly appreciate it. I tweeted it earlier. Thank you to everybody who listens and supports us, because wouldn't be here without you.
No, and actually, if we were the only listeners, we would have given up by now.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's a fact. We wouldn't have pushed to get better if we didn't have other people listening. Like, just for our own entertainment, we could suck every week and it wouldn't matter.
We could make a recording and just share the file.
Exactly. So, have you seen the logo for the 75th season logo or whatever?
No, I was kind of down on NASCAR this weekend.
It's shaped like a diamond. I mean, it's got a little racetrack running around the outside of it. It's got the font they use is called Big Bill. That's pretty cool.
That's what I call my Johnson. Except it's a lie. It's not Big Bill.
Hey, did you see Camping World is out officially? We already knew that, but Craftsman's back.
Are there no secrets? Was that a month ago?
Well, as soon as Camping World announced they were out, they said Craftsman was coming back. So it's official. Craftsman will be the sponsor starting in 2023 for the Truck Series. Again, what did we say last week or a few weeks ago? It was like 95 was when Craftsman was there before.
Yeah, when it first started.
So, well, season 2 was when when Craftsman came on. So.
Was it season 2? I was a youngster back then. It's weird because I've always referred to the Truck Series as the Truck Series. Craftsman's always been that sponsor, like the one I accidentally called it Craftsman because tools kind of go with truck, you know?
And then the Xfinity Series I always call the Busch Series.
We were talking about this a long time ago. Was it 5-6 weeks ago when they...
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is...
Camping World dude Marcus Lemonis. That's not right. We can't pronounce anything. It's not Lemonis. It's Lemonis. Lemons.
He needs to go.
Marcus Lemons.
He don't like NASCAR, so he was the one who was like causing controversy with some drivers throughout
I'm telling
the year.
You, pull up a picture of him.
Yeah.
He looks like human penis.
I'm not gonna go there.
Look at it, and then when you go to the bathroom, look at his picture, look at your Johnson, and then you'll go, God dang, they look familiar. He looks like a circumcised penis.
So what you're saying is he looks like your penis.
Well, my penis looks great. I shaved my nuts last night.
All right, a lot of contract extensions were signed last week. None of them were really a big surprise, and none of them were Kyle Busch.
And I thought Colic was going to make an announcement this weekend. What's going on?
Somebody posted, or like Kyle Busch's media availability. The first thing he says is, "I have an announcement to make." I have no announcement to make. Is the announcement? And that was that.
Is he just going to be homeless?
I don't know. I have no idea. We've speculated the heck out of it. I have no idea where he's going to end up going.
Even Richard Childress kind of, for the post-race interview, was kind of teasing it as though he just kept saying, well, Kurt Busch is a great driver and we've made up our differences. That's all he said.
Well,
It was like a 42-second blurb.
But they're friends. That's already been established. That Richard and Kyle get along fine. Kyle and Rick Hendrick, they get along fine. They're apparently buddies. They go out on the boat together. Penske has announced...
Is that a private boat, like the private plane?
I don't know. I'm sure. Penske's announced a long-term contract with Joey Logano. Didn't tell how many years. They just announced it, that it was a long-term one.
That's good because we need Joey.
Well, Roger's locked. Now he's locked down Joey and Blaney. So, and both of them, whether you like them both or not, are superstars. So
I like Blaney.
Yeah.
And I like not liking Joey.
Exactly. So he needs to stay around. Zane Smith announced that he'll be back full-time in the 38 truck for Front Row Motorsports next year. His deal will also include a start at the Daytona 500, other Cup starts, and possibly some Xfinity starts as well. I'm honestly surprised by this. I really thought we'd see Zane in the number 9 car at JRM next year.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on the junior download or somewhere else, but he sure was talking up Zane Smith.
Yeah,
Mr. Junior.
Well, Junior also posted a tweet. He'd said on Twitter, it's like something along the lines of, I really thought we'd see you in Cup next year.
Well, it looks like we are for a few races, and, JRM couldn't offer him any little substitute rides. And
no Cup deal. Daniel Suarez signs a 1-year extension with Trackhouse Racing through the end of next year. That's not a shocker. And what is I'm
surprised it's only 1 year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm surprised it's only 1 year. I really thought that would be a longer one, but maybe they just signed 1 year so they can work out the rest of it. Greg Ives, he's announced that he will be stepping away as crew chief.
As Flores would say.
Adios, amigo.
Yep.
He said that he's going to spend some more time with his family, and he is staying at Hendrick Motorsports, so I'm assuming they will announce later what that role will be, but congrats to him. Eric Almirola is retiring. Nope, just kidding. He's not retiring. He actually signed a multi-year deal instead of retiring.
Why does anyone want him?
Look, this is what I think. I think at the beginning of
Tyler Reddick has won as many races as him.
I think at the beginning of this season, Smithfield said, hey, we're pulling out of NASCAR. Eric says, okay, I have no sponsor, so I'm going to need a ride, and I'm not going through the crap of trying to find a ride again. So Eric decides just to retire rather than go out and search for a new sponsor or a new ride. Smithfield changes their mind, said, yes, we will stay in NASCAR. We do want to stay at Stewart-Haas. And they go back and offer him a deal, and now he's back. I mean, he said he was retiring to be with family.
Do you think he negotiated with the Chinese People's Republic since they own Smithfield Foods directly, or just to the American operation of Smithfield Foods?
Just the American side.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he speaks Mandarin.
You don't think Xi Jinping wasn't a part of that?
No.
I kind of hoping he was.
How do you feel about him coming back? I mean, he kind of pulled a Mark Martin, He's like, I'm going to retire. Just kidding.
Well, as I said about Mark Martin in the Amarola comparison.
What about Amarola and Motley Crue then?
Well, yeah. I see that comparison because Motley Crue's retired. Kiss has also retired numerous times.
I think I've seen him on numerous retirement tours.
But Mark Martin won. This is just a money issue because Amarola has won, is it twice?
2 or 3 times.
Somebody can send me a comment if I'm wrong, but I think it's like 2 times, and they've all been super speedways, right?
No, he won at New Hampshire. Remember last year was the only Stewart-Haas car to win.
He won. Yeah.
So he's got a handful of victories.
I don't think it's a handful.
What, 3?
I think if I chopped a couple fingers off, he might be there.
3 is more than 5, so.
I mean, he's won more races than me. My wife beats me at racing, so.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's a total fact.
So you're saying we can't compare him to Mark Martin because Mark Martin has 40-something Cup victories and Eric has...
I don't think Eric's going to the Hall of Fame ever.
3.
Yeah.
Well, he might go to the Hall of Fame if he stops by.
His car might make it.
He might walk through it, but you're saying he's going to buy a ticket. He's
$42.
Yeah.
$42 for that man.
Is that what it costs to get in there?
Yeah.
You already looked?
Uh-huh. Aren't we going?
Well, at $42, I don't know.
Oh, well, I bought tickets for you and John. So.
Yeah, we're going.
I hope we're going. You know how tight I am with my cash.
Need to hit Junior Motorsports on the way back, too.
Oh, do we have time?
I think if we leave early enough from North Wilkesboro Thursday morning, go straight to Mooresville, do the Junior Motorsports tour.
Should we drop off, what do they call that thing that goes in your computer that records things no one uses anymore?
What?
Jet stick?
Fire stick?
Drive stick?
USB
stick?
Yeah.
With our show on it.
Just leave it on the door.
Can you imagine? I mean, you've done a great job with our studio here, but it ain't no...
Dirty Mo.
It's
dirty. It's more dirty than there.
It's true.
This is Mo Dirty Studios, not Dirty Mo.
And we could use his private jet. He could fly us up. We could record as soon as the race is over on Sunday, and he could fly us back, and we could still continue the jobs we have now.
That's true.
We just need his jet.
I'd be willing to make the drive there and back.
Every weekend?
Well, I mean, the money's right. The opportunity's right.
Well, I mean, $10 a piece is more than we're making now per episode.
That's a fact.
So,
so after 2 days of testing at Martinsville, they are still shifting, apparently. No reason we should be shifting on a 0.5-mile oval
wasn't that
racetrack.
kind of a shit show up there? Weren't they getting a lot of pushback from some drivers saying this is dumb?
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Harvick's been saying it since the first short track race that these gear ratios are messed up. They should not be able to shift.
Well, Kevin's at an age now he can say whatever he wants because he would just retire a year early if they freaked out.
Well, Kevin retires early. He's going to go to the TV booth.
Did you see that Wackadoodle Drunk France has opened a chicken shack up in Charlotte to compete with Chick-fil-A?
Brian has?
Brian France is opening.
What's the name of it?
I don't remember. I can probably. Yeah, look, you make some noise while I Google it.
The crackhead shack. Crack-a-lay. Crack fillet. Come to crack fillet.
Brian France chicken shop.
No, I did not hear that. We are.
Yeah, this is hilarious, dude.
That's crazy.
Maybe you should just call it
Crack fillet.
Summerbird.
Summerbird.
And he's opening it first in Charlotte.
Summerbird.
Summerbird. Brian France, ex-NASCAR CEO, debuts his chicken sandwich eatery in Charlotte.
Hey, maybe it'll work out.
Maybe we should go there.
When's it open?
I don't know. I hate chicken.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You do hate chicken.
But I love Chick-fil-A French fries and their chocolate shake.
Hey, Jeff Gordon apparently has got the racing bug again. Jeff has announced he's going to race in the Porsche Cup North America race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway next weekend.
Yeah.
Ray Abraham is going to be his crew chief. This marks the first time since 1999 that Ray and Jeff have worked together.
I've got some theories, doing deep dives on the internet.
All right, what's your black hole
little
theory?
Reddit hole, rabbit hole, Reddit hole, butthole,
red dick hole.
Red dick hole. So there's some discussion on whether Jimmy Johnson is going to get his contract renewed after this season in Indy.
And if he doesn't, you're thinking he's going to drive an
Le Mans
for Hendricks?
He and Jeff team up.
And Ray?
Yeah. Garage 91 or whatever.
Trackhouse Racing?
No, they got a special garage number at Le Mans for experimental teams.
Is that where Trackhouse's Project 91 came from?
I might have the garage number wrong. You know how I am with English.
Yeah. Your English is as bad as my math.
And then Larson will ask for an exemption. And Chase, they'll make up. They'll kiss and make up. They'll ask for an exemption to go drive the 24-hour Le Mans with Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. That's an all-star cast that I stay up 24 hours for the 24-hour Le Mans anyway, but that would be badass.
I agree.
That would get a lot of NASCAR eyeballs in France, staring at some racing with some right and left turns.
Watching some IMSA.
Yup.
I saw your boys over at Pfaff Racing won again this weekend at VIR.
They did.
They basically locked the championship up with that victory.
They've got to make it to the start line and make it past the start line when the green flag flies at Le Petit Le Mans.
So as long as they start the race,
they
will win the GTD Pro Championship.
Did you watch any of the VIR?
I watched
IMSA?
I watched highlights. That was during the travels.
Jordan Taylor was badass in that Corvette.
He got all the way up to the
second.
Yeah.
I mean, he passed through the field and got right. If it would have lasted one more lap, I don't know. Would have been close, maybe a little bump and grinding. But I think Jordan needs to race for a road track Xfinity race.
I would actually like to see Jordan in the
maybe he could
Project 91 car for Trackhouse.
JRM Motorsports.
Well, that's maybe you go run.
You ever seen the jorts?
Maybe he goes and runs 2 races in Trackhouse's Project 91 car, funded by Junior Motorsports.
He could do filter time.
Yeah, Junior Motorsports sponsors it and funds it.
Or High Rock Vodka.
Yeah, why not? And then
they talk about how tight he is, though. Would he do it for another team?
If he runs good, then he runs for Junior Motorsports in the Cup Series.
Except,
I don't know.
I don't think
he's not ready for ovals yet.
I don't think Dale Jr. is going to get in a bidding war with all that extra money Hamlin has for the failure. I think Joe Gibbs bought Denny a third charter, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
In my opinion, don't call the lawyers.
I don't know. All right, let's get into it, man. After 3,613 votes on the Jeff Gluck Was It a Good Race poll for Daytona, 55% of you have said, yes, it was a good race. 45% have said, no, it was not a good race. On a scale of 1 to 10, my vote has changed a lot since yesterday. I give it a 4, Jamie. And I voted no on the poll.
I'm stuck between 3 and 4. Well, I would think under 5 you'd vote no.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that it took 2 days and a rain delay in the middle of Sunday to... I don't know. I'm kind of soured on the race. I was all set to watch it Saturday night. And then disappointment. And then we watched a really bad show.
Yeah, movie. I think the Xfinity race, being what it was, already had a bad taste. I fell asleep. I was tired. So I went to bed at midnight. I gave up. I couldn't stay up. I had to get up early and start driving the next day. So I got up the next morning. I watched it on my phone while my wife was driving. We got on the road. I wasn't impressed. So I already had a bad taste in my mouth from that Saturday. Then the Cup race gets called. That sucked. I was prepared to watch it Saturday night. Sunday, we have all the crap that happened Sunday. I don't know. I really don't know, but I voted no, and I gave it a 4. And
I love Daytona too, man. I'm disappointed that I had to and I don't know if it's all the delays, but as you pointed out, there was no side-by-side ads, man.
Yeah, I mean, we missed it. And I think I'm trying to look at it from a bigger picture, from a NASCAR standpoint. Side-by-side ads, they generate less revenue from the network. So they
should charge more.
Well, I'm just saying, they're on CNBC, so they're already losing their pants off. There's no way they made any money on that race running it on CNBC. A lot of people don't have CNBC. So you probably had a lot of viewers on Peacock. You had guys like you who didn't watch it till the replay. You didn't even know it was going to be on CNBC.
Well, I just assumed that since it's a shit network USA, that it'd be on the shit network Law and Order. They ought to just change it to the Law and Order network. I mean, they really should. And I'm going to tell you, the performance of everyone in the booth sucked.
Yeah. They were tired. They had to have been exhausted.
Must be, because
that's got to be what I've been trying to figure that out too. Like, what the heck?
Sucked.
What happened? I think the coverage was just as good. The TV video coverage.
So they hire a director from Fox and say, "Hey," and he said, "Whoa."
I think it was just tired, man. These guys stayed up till 2, 3 in the morning.
The Fox director said, "You're working too hard, guys. Let's quiet quit."
You don't even have
we
to
can
go.
Quiet quit. NBC.
You can stay in Charlotte and do the broadcast.
And Junior probably said, "Whoa, dude, what do you mean quiet quit NBC?" And he said, "Dude, we're on CNBC. Shut the."
I did notice that like Rick Allen caught on pretty quick. Like the very first time he went to commercial break, he didn't really say what network he was on, but then after that he started saying, "We'll be right back with you here on CNBC." It's like, hey, Rick, true professional. All right, congratulations to Jeremy Clements and the whole 51 team for their win Saturday morning.
Which, again, wasn't much different than the Cup Series. I do like the fact that a little family-owned team won. And what is it, their second win on the team?
Let's go ahead and talk about the Xfinity race. We'll just skip ahead to that. So the Xfinity Series race.
Done based on the notes.
Yeah, we're skipping ahead to the next page. So after Friday night, Saturday morning's race, I don't think the trucks or the Xfinity drivers have any business being on a high-speed 2.5-mile super speedway. That race was nothing but a crash fest. I mean, it absolutely sucked. I thought it was the most unenjoyable event I've ever watched. I mean, it became a game of attrition. Survival of the fittest. If you survive and don't get as much damage as the guy next to you, you can win this race. That is not racing whatsoever. These guys were wrecking they looked like they had no idea what they were doing. Okay, maybe it was because it was 1 a.m.
Jesse Iwuji knew what he was doing for the first time in his career.
Jesse Iwuji didn't even know where he was at. That's the problem. Jesse Iwuji finished 11th, got out of the car, looked around and goes, "Oh, dang, we're at Daytona."
Maybe we should nominate him to run for president then.
What an idiot. Jesse Iwuji finishes 11th. Timmy Hill, congrats, man. You finished 2nd. Sage Karam finished 5th. Ryan Vargas finished 6th. Alex LeBay finished 8th.
And none of these guys we ever talk about.
JJ Yaley finished 9th. Kyle Sieg finished 10th. And Jesse Iwuji finishes 11th. They survived the carnage because they're
peddling their cars.
Yeah, well, they're driving their cars to the best of their car's ability. I hate to say they're slow because, look, I've seen Ryan Vargas race other things. Ryan Vargas is fast. I've seen Timmy Hill. Timmy Hill's fast.
Your equipment makes a difference.
Exactly. These guys, all except for Jesse Iwuji, these guys know how to drive.
I mean, it's like comparing Great Value peanut butter to Peter Pan peanut butter.
I think you could outdrive Jesse Iwuji.
I don't know.
Head to head.
My wife could.
Your wife definitely could.
Because she don't care about the equipment.
No, she can outdrive you. She can definitely outdrive him.
She's going into that corner deep, and she is slamming that pedal to the floor.
So, I don't like the Demolition Derby.
And it's hot when she does that.
I don't appreciate the Demolition Derby, man. I don't like that style of racing. We had a whole weekend full of it. The Xfinity cars, it just looked bad. It's a bad look, period.
It is, but what's the solution?
Not to let them race there but once a year. We don't see this kind of carnage at Talladega necessarily.
We didn't see it at Atlanta. We saw some.
We didn't see it at Daytona earlier this year. I think
the Cup.
When I put these notes together, I was pissed about the Xfinity race.
Do you think the intensity of the playoffs had something to do with it for the Cup Series?
For both series, I do. I think the intensity of making the playoff had something to do with Xfinity and Cup, but I think the fact that it was 1:30 in the morning had a lot more to do with the Xfinity guys. They've been up since 7 a.m. They're probably tired. I get all that, and I think that's probably what it had to do with.
But don't you think even the Cup drivers were tired? I mean, they were waiting and waiting, and they call it. So they go to their bus, but they were expecting to fly home and sleep in their own bed Saturday night.
No doubt. I think that played a factor in the Cup drivers and their mayhem of their demolition.
I mean, that was insane. That was stupid.
All right. Out of nowhere, the skies open up in turn one and the rain comes, wrecking half the field. Going down the front stretch, you had spotters warning their drivers that it was pouring down rain. You had Brett Griffin warning his driver that it was pouring down rain.
He told him not to slow down.
And not to effing slow down. Whatever you do, don't let off the effing gas, was what he said.
So a flag should have been thrown.
Yeah, they throw the flag on the front straightaway. They slow down maybe 20 miles an hour by the time they hit the rain.
But they ain't jockeying for position because they're frozen. And I don't know, does race control watch the broadcast? Because they showed us, look, there's a whole sheet of rain just over there by 95.
Yeah, it was behind the stands. So a fan tweeted that when the cars came down the front straightaway, it was raining and said what section he was in. They went back on the cameras and compared those to that section. It was not raining on the track yet. It was, I've watched it. I've listened to a lot of interviews.
We're not running windshield wipers or rain tires. No. Shouldn't we have slowed them down?
Daniel Suarez said with all the technology out there, you'd think they have a radar that NASCAR can do something to keep these drivers safer.
Look, when we were there this year.
Denny Hamlin said NASCAR needs to do better.
Didn't we see a Weather Channel? Yeah, we did because we were watching it. Just the local channel in Daytona was telling us about how dang cold it was and showing us radar.
Yeah, I mean, can't
they log into the local TV channel and look at their radar?
But if they throw the caution before it starts raining and it doesn't start raining, fans are just as mad that they threw the caution to lock them in and then it rains.
But you're not going to please anybody any of the time, so who gives it?
They're at a lose-lose situation. Now, I do think they need to always err on the side of safety.
And where's National Weather Service labs always at and stuff? At the airport, which is right next to the track in Daytona. I just think somebody effed up, dude.
I think it's a fluke thing. I think it just happened. New Hampshire, it was raining for 3 laps. NASCAR should have thrown the caution in New Hampshire. Daytona, it started raining. If they threw the caution as fast as I think they should have thrown it as soon as it started raining.
Well, I was pissed Saturday night when they called the race, right?
Yeah.
Here's an idea that I came up with while I was pissed and had a little bit of whiskey in me. But if you look at F1 or even Le Mans, they got headlights that work, brake lights that work, and windshield wipers. Let's just run the race no matter what. Slow them down to 20 miles an hour and have them put that windshield wiper blade on high speed.
Hey, I'm willing to try it once.
And then they can package it, and it's always going to begin and end within a set period of time instead of having a 36-hour race.
Yeah. We got to figure out. So,
and then you got tire strategy. Rain tires or slicks.
I've said this for years, and I've seen it on Twitter a lot over the weekend about putting tarps. Why can't we have a tarp in the safer barrier, and when it starts raining, we pull that tarp and run it all the way down the front and back straightaway? All we got to do is it starts to sprinkle, we pull the cars off, we send, I don't know, probably not the guys riding around in the trucks picking up debris, but we get some younger, more in-shape guys, ladies.
Like at a baseball game?
Yeah. Pull the tarps down on the back straightaway and the front straightaway only. You don't have to do the turns. And then when it stops raining, all you have to dry is turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Front straightaway, back straightaway,
why
dry.
Do that? You got the sunshades they advertise for old people that looks like the little shade, the whatever you call it on your RV. What do you call that thing that opens up?
The awning?
The awning.
Yeah.
So Colic, does he own an awning company along with his gutter company?
No.
Well, he needs to buy it. Acquire it, mister.
You're saying put that on the fence?
Or just hit a button. Yeah.
Where's the awning going to be? On the fence?
No. Yeah, on the fence.
So it just goes and covers the track all the way around?
Won't see it. Yeah.
You'll miss the race, but...
Rain will probably get on there, but you still have the opportunity to get rain tires.
Less rain.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to see Bristol come up with
Stenhouse will poke a hole in it when he flies.
Bristol, I'd like to see them come up with a way to put a cover over the top.
I think they could do it at Bristol.
Oh, no doubt. If you've been in Bristol, it's like a coliseum all the way around. You could easily do it there.
They could easily do it. Put some, some fans to move some air. Not the people drinking beer, but exhaust fans.
All right, so we've been told by TV that there's no way to run this race at 1 o'clock It's not. It doesn't work. So
Why?
they postponed the race. They said it's bad for viewership. So they postponed it, and now we're running it at 10 a.m. instead on Sunday.
When I'm at church.
Yeah, 10 a.m. doesn't work for me.
I think even the people and the members of the Church of Satan worship on Sunday till 12 noon.
So
I've never seen
a 10 a.m. race is a 7 a.m. race out west, though. That's what I'm saying. They're saying that a 1 p.m. race out east or in the east doesn't work for the people in California because they're in church at 10 a.m.
I don't think anyone in California goes to church.
I don't think anyone in California is watching NASCAR, really.
I don't really think so. There's probably some out in Riverside.
By the track.
I mean, it's a car culture.
Yeah.
So.
And they're probably the ones going to church, too, though.
But most of them are worried about whether your restaurant's open, if your car's electric. Which, that ain't going to work, right? Electric cars ain't going to work.
The grid can't even keep up with
they got brownouts now in California.
Yeah, they can't keep up with the air conditioning being run right now. They're not going to be able to keep up with all the new cars that need to be charged.
I don't want to get into politics, but it does seem like there's too much government intervention in California, not enough freedom. And don't say, "Oh, he's a Republican." I'm not. I'm not a Democrat either.
I'm a NASCAR fan, though.
That's right. I'm a NASCAR fan. I identify as a NASCAR fan.
All right. The Coke 400 Sunday marked the most crashes in history with 86.5% of the cars being crashed. That's 5.
Is that counting the cars that were in more than one crash?
Yes.
Okay.
There was 5 cars not involved in a wreck out of 37. That surpasses the 2014 record of 86% when 37 cars out of the 43 were involved in a wreck. Daytona 500 in 2019 still holds the record when 36 of 40 at 90% crashed out of the race.
I thought the new car was supposed to make it less expensive to race.
Justin Marks said it cost about $4 million. That last wreck they had.
And that's not counting the Daytona wrecks?
I mean, just yesterday.
Because, old Watermelon Man, he was out quick.
Well,
that's because he's got no friends.
Oh, no doubt. Kind of piggybacking on your Coach Gibbs conspiracy there. You had Eric Jones get loose because Denny Hamlin was running up his butt there with his car. And he sent Harvick into Bell and Bell into Blaney, taking Blaney out. Well, not taking him out, but, really, really making his day really difficult.
On purpose. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Piggybacking off your conspiracy. So all that they did. Denny trying to take out Blaney. The money that got paid to Kurt, none of it worked. Truex still did not make it. So Joe and Denny did all that for nothing.
So what happens in the offseason when Denny announces they're buying a third charter?
You can say I told you so, everybody.
Yep.
100%. Now, when it doesn't happen.
And then Kurt Busch is driving for him because he doesn't have to move his truck team.
Kyle Busch, you mean?
To another, they're all KFPs. KFPs, whatever.
All right. So
KPIs. No, that's work related, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Stage 2 is a lot calmer than Stage 1. Stage 3, lap 59.
Kyle Busch won Stage 2.
Yes, he did.
It's
Reddick was having some steering issues. He gets into McDowell, turning him into the wall, collecting your boy Chastain, Barrett LaJoy.
My boy.
Yeah.
I like watermelons.
I know you like watermelon.
I like Georgia watermelons.
Oh.
Georgia watermelons.
This is the one that got Truex, too. He got caught up in this one.
Well, you know who is truly a Georgia watermelon? David Reagan is from Georgia watermelon country.
He is, and he finished in the top 10.
He's from Unadilla, Georgia.
The onion.
Why don't we?
That's where we get onions at.
No, that's Vidalia.
Oh.
He's down past.
They're close.
You know where the Perry Fairground is?
Yeah.
He's like two exits down
They have
there.
that big sign that's like David Reagan's from here.
It used to have a David Reagan Ford there.
Yeah, well, due to supply chain, they had to close, right?
And the fact that he doesn't live there anymore.
Where does he live at now?
I don't know. His dad must live in Atlanta. He's got the little Legend shop there next to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Great family. I'm not ragging on them. I like them.
One thing I saw a lot on Twitter, a guy I follow, family man, was saying that wasn't a big fan of the playoffs coming down to one last race and Truex missing the playoffs. Truex was 4th in points in the regular season's points, and he was booted out of the playoffs by Austin Dillon, getting lucky and surviving the Daytona Demolition Derby. What do you think? I mean, Austin Dillon was 19th in points.
Well,
Truex was 4th.
No, I agree. I want to win to get you in. And I like the fact that that's the 4 hours of rain delay. I'm glad it allowed Austin Dillon to actually win and not get a rain delay win.
Oh, no doubt.
Because
if they wouldn't have went back green, it would have been
trash all the time. Just
look, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't like the fact that Truex ran consistent all year and doesn't make it in the playoffs, but Truex had all season to win a race.
He did.
Truex got booted out by 3 points. There was a point spot.
Why he could have done a couple races like Ross Chastain and just claim it, you know?
Well, he also threw away points throughout the year.
Yeah.
You know, one position here on pit road, you know, being a little more aggressive here or there.
There
3
were times
points.
his pit crew sucked.
3 points. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So all those mistakes added up. 3 points he lost it by. I think you had all year to get in. I'm sorry. I like win and you're in. We've never had 16 winners. Ever.
We had 15, pretty dang close.
We had 16, but Kurt pulled his waiver, so
basically, yeah.
So I mean, the chances of that happening again, I don't know. Maybe they're really good. Maybe they're not, though. I think for now we don't do nothing about it and we keep running like we are.
Well,
I don't want to change the points.
Do you think Kurt's done? If I got cobwebs in my head and I've got enough money to not work again.
So what do we say? Kurt's 43, 45, something like that?
Yeah.
I think I would probably hang it up. I've had concussions in my life.
I've had them too. I had one that took me 3 or 4 months, actually about 6 months to recover.
That's what I mean. Like
I missed a semester of college.
Migraine headaches, and I'm sure they were probably linked to those.
Well, I had like Alzheimer's things where I went to class too soon. I'd sit there and go, hold it, where am I? Is this college algebra?
Yeah, that might have been more than the head injury.
That could have been.
No, I mean,
no,
I think that
I didn't do any weed after I had the concussion.
I think he should. I think he should hang it up, man. I think if.
But if he's cleared to race and he truly loves it.
Yeah, and that's a risk you take, though. I think once you've been through, look at Dale Jr.'s progression. He had some issues with concussions. He came back and raced. He got another concussion, and his symptoms were worse. Then he came back and raced. I mean, it's like every new concussion, it's your risk of not recovering increases. Is it worth that risk?
It looks like he's actually doing what's best for him.
I think you step away from this. And if you still want to race, you do like Casey Kane or just go enjoy life.
Even Junior, hops in an Xfinity car once a year.
Kurt Busch in the booth is good. Is extremely good.
Yeah.
I think Kurt should walk away and be in the Fox booth next year with Clinton, Mike.
But you heard Justin Marks said he's always got a place here. He says he's coming in.
Denny,
yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that third charter is the real thing.
Or he becomes a coach and his brother comes over because I don't think he's got a deal. I don't think Kyle's got a deal. I've speculated. We've heard Colic over and over again. But how come they haven't announced it yet? And Coach ain't saying a word. Have you noticed it's all quiet now? Like nothing's happening? Like we're done?
I think they're still finalizing a few details, shopping Kurt I mean,
or
Kyle around.
are they shopping Ty around?
I think JGR is shopping Ty around. I don't think Gibbs has any intention of bringing Kyle back. Look, Toyota, the head of Toyota basically said that it is a disadvantage for Ty not to be in a Cup car next year, period. Now, if Kurt doesn't come back, maybe Ty goes and drives the 45. Maybe Kyle goes and drives it. I don't know that. But I really think Kyle's deal is done. I think Kyle is going to Kaulig. I think Ty is going to Gibbs. And I don't know about the 45. I think there's other options in the Toyota camp to fill that 45.
Heck, they can bring John Hunter up if they had to.
Why not?
Basically.
Put Cody Ware in there. Hey, I was pulling for Cody to win this weekend.
Well, you got a bunch of drivers. Corey LaJoy, he might do better in a better car. A funded team.
I don't know. Corey got taken out early. I think Corey...
What about both the drivers for Front Row Motorsports? They're doing great with crappy equipment.
No doubt. And that's Stuart Haas. We said
affiliated, yeah.
All right, Briscoe does the typical Briscoe thing, causes a wreck. Dillon went spinning down pit road backwards. It collected Bowman, Amarillo, Bubba Wallace, Cole Custer.
Do we have enough time for you to go over the list?
No, that wasn't that long. Briscoe said he doesn't run up front enough to know exactly how to act in these situations. That's crap. You're supposed to be one of the best in the world. But I think that goes to the point of they didn't know when the rain was coming, so they were being overly aggressive. So actually, I don't put this one on Briscoe. I just think it was over-aggression on all the drivers at hand that caused this. Because with 23 laps to go, it did start raining. It did wreck half the field. We did have 16 cars that were able to continue for the final 20-lap shootout. Tyler Reddick held off Noah Gregson, Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, Landon Castle, Austin Cindric.
I like
Austin
BJ.
Dillon gets the win.
He owns his own team, man.
Oh, huge shout out to BJ McLeod. Cody Ware. I was pulling for Cody Ware. My wife was looking at me like I was crazy because we give Cody so much crap every week on the show. But I found myself pulling for Cody Ware. Like, how cool would that have been? Truex would have still made it in the championship, and Cody Ware would have won at Daytona.
Would have been
Rick
awesome.
Ware's only win in the Cup Series ever.
Would have been awesome.
I mean, really, I found myself pulling for him. I told you a few weeks ago that Austin Dillon was the type of idiot who would luck into winning here, and he did. And I don't know. The playoff field is set. We have 16 drivers who will compete in the next 10 races. We will dwindle down from 16 to 12. After 3 races, we'll run 3 more, go 12 to 8. Run 3 more, go 8 to 4, go to Phoenix, and those 4 will race for a championship. The top 16 drivers, starting at the number 1 seed: Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman, and Austin Dillon being the 16th seed. Jamie, who do you got going to the Final Four at Phoenix?
I'm a homer, so I'm going to pick Elliott. I like Larson's aggressiveness, not his apologies. Stop apologizing, Larson.
You meant to
just win. And Larson's my second pick. Harvick and Reddick. So I got 3 Chevys, 1 Ford.
Yeah, we're 50-50 on this. We're 50% the same. I've also got Elliott and Larson. But then I went different on you. I got Hamlin and Chastain.
I don't see Chastain making the Final Four.
I don't either.
They're going to wall them over and over. There's so many people that haven't gotten revenge yet. They're just waiting.
He's going to luck into a win every round.
No, he's going to get wrecked
He's going to get wrecked 2 out of the 3 and win the 3rd.
Somebody's going to.
He's either going to win Darlington or he's going to get wrecked at Darlington and win the last race before the
Some guy's going to pay Cody or BJ to just hit him when he comes by when they're lapped.
I mean, it's very well possible because he's made so many enemies, but
I think it would be awesome.
Yeah,
because I would love
him and Denny in the final race together.
I would love to hate him.
Him and Denny in the final race at Phoenix would be a good storyline.
And, after he wrecks half the field, he'll get out there with a shit-eating grin. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. I was driving a little aggressive.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I'll do it again next week. I'm not really sorry.
All right, man. Like we said, we're going to Darlington, South Carolina to race next week. Jamie, we'll go to North Wilkesboro and stay at the Holiday Inn Express. But if we were going to Darlington, where would we not stay at?
Well, having grown up with my family having a house at Myrtle Beach, my dad and I and brothers would go to Darlington for the day, come back to the beach. I decided to review a Myrtle Beach hotel. And really, for any of you out there who want to just be entertained, look at the Google reviews of the Polynesian Oceanfront Hotel at Myrtle Beach. Every single bad review talks about the roaches running up and down the walls and on the floor. I mean, dude, there's no way these people are lying. It is disgusting. So Zoe Hall, just 2 weeks ago, she said it was a 1 out of 5. But she said beyond horrible. On all accounts, I booked a 3-night stay for my husband and I and our 4 kids and 2 infants. Does that mean 6 children?
4 kids and 2 infants. And then we got 1 room.
Plus 2 of them. That's 8.
Ooh.
Were there children roaches running on the floor?
I'd be mad.
They should have got 2 rooms. They should have stayed somewhere.
Or are they going to put their kids in one room and them in the other?
Like 2 blocks from the beach, a decent looking. Well, I've had relatives stay there when we didn't have room for them. Red Roof Inn, right behind the Waffle House. I mean, who could ask for more? Red Roof's probably rated 3.3, which, well, anyway. Anyway, with the 8 people. Wow. Within the first hour, we were demanding our money back. My 2-year-old was standing on one of the stained, unwashed beds screaming that he wanted to go home because of the sheer number of roaches that were brazenly crawling on every surface. I was afraid to set my baby down. I thought she had 2 infants.
Her husband was holding the other.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was afraid to put my baby down on the floor of the bed. I went in to wash my feet off the tub from nothing other than walking across the unswept, disgusting floor, and a piece of the bathtub that had been super glued fell off. I went to the front desk and was laughed at. My horrified toddler was made fun of. That's wrong, dude. You're going to ruin a kid's self-esteem when they're little? What kind of people run this place? Polynesians? I don't even know where Polynesians are from. Polynesia?
Probably.
Is that a place?
Polynesian, that's an animal.
Oh.
That's a dog. That's Pomeranian.
Why would you name your Pomeranian?
Polynesian is the sauce you get at Chick-fil-A.
Weird.
So it's like...
But you're going to go ruin some child who will grow up to be a serial killer or a mass shooter
First of all,
because of his visit to the Polynesian freaking hotel.
First off, if somebody was making fun of my kid while I'm standing there,
there'd be
over the counter.
Assault and battery
I'm coming
charge.
over the counter.
I mean, really, how low are you to make fun of a child?
That's not the
in front of the parents.
It's not the Christian thing to do, but I'm probably going over the counter.
Oh yeah,
I'll pray for you when I'm done.
I don't know. That might be Christian because we're talking affecting this kid for the rest of his life.
We got to protect the kids.
You have to.
All right.
So we're back to the bleh. The horrified toddler was made fun of, and staff refused my refund. They tried to say that I booked a 1-night stay and they don't refund single nights. It took me
3 nights.
See, this is where she really screwed up. It took me pulling up my bank account and showing them that I indeed did pay $450 for my stay for them to even come off their attempt to con and bully me. So I don't think I would show these people my bank account online.
No, heck no.
I would just start bitch slapping these pieces of shit for making fun of my kid. Yeah. I know I got real nasty there, but yeah. Smack them around for a little bit.
Knock them out.
Yeah.
Get your money back. She just wanted another room or a refund. I mean, just give her a refund.
Well, then she
and
says
rent the room out to somebody
there were
else.
no less than 10 other guests in the lobby demanding their own refunds for various reasons. So here's another problem I got. If I saw a little POS making fun of a toddler, regardless of how the toddler looked, acted, or his
You'd say something.
disabilities,
You'd step in.
I would tell him to shut the...
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it, but I'd say it there, the Polynesian, and to apologize.
No doubt. I'd be I'd step in.
You need to apologize.
I wouldn't know if I'd use that word, but I would definitely step in and cut him off. But hey, Mr. Dude at the counter, he's just a kid.
So I'm calling these 10 other guesses POSs.
Well, you're mad at everybody now.
Well, they didn't do squat. I've driven past the Polynesian. I've never stopped.
You should go in.
It's actually in the bad part of Myrtle Beach.
That's why you don't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the other side of town.
It's in downtown. Well, south side's nice.
Yeah.
North side's nice.
Central.
Downtown,
Not so nice.
yeah, it's full of homeless people.
Sketch.
I mean, that's where you go to see stuff, like at a museum. Windows rolled up, doors locked. And you can say, hey, kids, you don't want to grow up to be like them.
This is where you take your kids to keep them off of drugs.
That's when you make fun of toddlers with the window up and the door closed and locked.
This is where you take your kids to keep them off drugs.
Right.
See, kids, you don't want to do drugs. That's like the University of Kentucky campus. That's where you take your kids so you can teach them not to do drugs.
Really? There's a campus where they don't do drugs?
No, they do. That's the problem.
Okay.
My wife decided we were going to ride around the University of Kentucky while we were there this
Were they
weekend.
all on drugs when you drove by?
It was a Friday night at like 8:30, and we drove down like Sorority Row. So, they're having parties. This is opening weekend of college.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of college, they all just went back to school.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like first party of the year. So there's...
Seeing your old friends.
Yeah, they're all partying out on the front porch, and I got my kids going, he has no shirt on, Dad. I'm like, oh, honey, speed up.
Kegger at Lambda, Lambda, Lambda. Try Lambda. Wasn't that Revenge of the Nerds?
Where else are we going?
Well, Motel 6 Florence, right there next to Darlington.
Heck yeah. It's Motel 6. You know it's bad.
And this guy's name he's just Dennis. He's like Prince, but Dennis.
One name.
Yeah. Dennis said, after he gave it a 1 out of 5, this place is the worst. And if you look, I just copied and pasted. He wrote it all in bold.
Yeah, I saw that.
I walked in the room and immediately walked out to get a refund. After paying for the room, my wife and I slowly drive back to where our room was located. We drove slowly because there is absolutely no lighting on this maze of a campus. Not only is the lighting non-existent, there's also a slew of unsavory characters, both males and females, lurking in the depths of this shady and shadowy place.
I love this guy.
This guy's a writer.
This reminds me of an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Not Mr. Fincher. It wasn't Mr. Fincher. I would have done it if it wasn't for you rascally kids. Finally, we pull up to our room. My wife, full of anxiety, chose to stay in the running car. I should probably lock the doors when he got out.
Give me the gun.
Yeah. While I checked out the scene. He checked out the scene, dude.
Hope he took pictures.
Was he getting some meth and some
Hey, Raggy.
toots?
Shaggy.
As soon as I opened the door to our room, I was greeted by the musty stench of an absolutely filthy carpet.
Yeah.
Both beds were sunken in. The lights were so dim that I barely noticed the cracks in the paint around the doorway. My intentions were to take pictures of this destitute conditions of this place. However, I could not stomach the smell long enough to take one good picture. Ooh, that had to really stink.
That's bad.
That's some rank there, man. I drove back to the front office with no hesitation.
He didn't even drive
So that
slow this
dude was
time.
like just flooring it.
Yeah. He NASCAR'd it. Getting it like Dale Jr.
Yeah, like a road course, avoiding the meth heads and the crack
He
addicts.
come around that turn right there, getting it like Dale Jr.
I walk in and sidestep some shirtless drunkard talking to a maintenance man.
Probably buying crack.
What is the maintenance man maintaining is beyond me. I told the clerk, the same clerk who checked me in, that I needed a refund. She didn't even bother to ask why. She immediately handed me a form. I filled it out, and she said I could expect my refund in 7 to 10 business days. The refund was actually credited back to my credit card on the next business day.
That's like a positive.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
That's crazy.
So this is probably the nastiest hotel we've ever.
But they knew it.
That's what I mean. This has to be the worst of the worst. We've never reviewed a hotel where they were so willing to give the money back.
Okay.
We know it's nasty. It's been nasty for 32 years. Here's your money. Have a great day.
And that's when we bought it, when it was old and dilapidated. 32 years ago.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
George Washington slept here. And we haven't cleaned the room since.
That's the smell you smell.
Jeez. Next, we're going to go to the Deluxe in Camden, which is a little west of Darlington. There's also a Revolutionary battlefield there.
Yep. Probably inside.
That's when George Washington slept over here at the other place.
You're probably sleeping on the battlefield.
And this is a short one. It's Justin Douglas, not Justin Marks, because he stays in his camper.
It's also not Michael Douglas.
No.
It's Justin Douglas.
Is Michael Douglas still alive? He's like 102, isn't he? Or was that his dad that just died of 102?
I have no
idea. He's 87.
Who's his dad?
Kirk Douglas.
I had no idea.
Did you not watch?
No.
Like, you grew up in a full cable house, didn't you?
Yeah, we had cable.
See, I grew up a little before that.
4 channels.
There was 4 channels, and one was the independent channel that repeated movies.
Oh, so at my grandparents' house all last week in New York, they had on the porch outside, they have an old dish receiver, so they only get 2 channels. And it's old Western. So we watched Wagon Train?
You might have seen Kirk Douglas.
It was a good show, man. We watched Wagon Train and Little House on the Prairie.
I don't even know what Wagon Train is, dude.
I had never heard of it until this weekend. It's
Little House on the Prairie. I was like a little kid.
I'd never watched that either. I'd heard of it, but I'd never watched it. So I actually watched them. I don't know. Maybe we got to go back to the shows from the 50s and the 40s and stuff to get good TV anymore.
Just remake them? New actors?
Yeah. All right. Justin Douglas at the Deluxe Inn.
Well, he says nastiest, 1 out of 5, nastiest place I've ever seen or been. Owners cannot speak English.
What's the problem?
Are they speaking Yiddish?
What language are they speaking, Justin?
Maybe they're speaking Quakerism.
Maybe.
Didn't you have Quakers across the street driving their carts?
The Amish?
The Amish, yeah.
Yeah, we had Amish. There's some Amish, Mennonites down the street. There's a lot of Amish on that street.
Well, you sent me a picture of their church service, all those horses and buggies sitting there.
Yeah, well, I sent you a picture of the Amish taxi. The buggies just happened to be.
That's because you think the Quakers are somehow related to these guys, and we can't drive cars.
I passed the Quaker cemetery, and I text Jamie. I'm like, hey, man, I found the Quaker cemetery. Like it's the only one in America. All right.
Well, anyway, they can't speak English. Roaches and bed bugs are splitting the cost of the room.
Huh.
Double booked it, I guess.
Yep.
Holes in the walls, floors and ceilings.
Uh-oh.
This is almost like you copy and pasted my beach house review that got...
Is the hillbilly going to jump out of the floor, though? We haven't had that in a while.
I came back from work one day. The toilet overflowed out into the room because the police got called, and everyone here staying here flushed their drugs all at once and blew up the plumbing.
That is awesome.
I asked the owner for change for a drink machine, and they said there was no change. So once I got change, the machine took my money, and since there was no change, I didn't get a refund.
There were so many people flushing their drugs when the police showed up that it caused his toilet to overflow. He was trying to flush his drugs, and Justin's like, hey, man, I can't get my crack rock to go down the toilet. It's overflowing now. Justin was he's only mad because he was about to go to jail. That's it.
And he wasn't there to flush his drugs.
Yeah. And
because he got back.
And when he tried,
luckily the toilet overflowed and dissolved his cocaine.
Yeah, so he still got lucky, but that's why he's so mad. Look, he says, came back from work one day. Obviously, Justin is on long-term stay here, not short-term.
That's what I think. It dissolved
he's living
his
here.
Cocaine.
Yeah, he's mad because he lost his drugs.
Statute of limitations are up, and I'm not going to name anybody, but when I was in college, I crushed an Alka-Seltzer. and sold it to this dude I didn't like too much and told him it was cocaine.
That's horrible.
I don't know what happened afterwards. He's still alive, though.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it didn't kill him.
As long as he's alive.
I saw him the next day.
All right, where are we going next?
Well, we're going to go to the Deluxe Inn Part 2.
So we're just going down the hall.
Down the hall.
Down the hall, people.
Katie Seymour.
Katie with a D.
Isn't that a famous person?
That's Caddy.
Is it Caddy or Katie?
I think it's Caddy.
Okay.
There's IE at the end of
We'll just
Caddy.
call her Kay Seymour.
What?
She gave it a 1 out of 5.
Casey.
Or is it Seymour? Oh, no. Now I'm getting confused.
I'll go with Katie.
Katie Seymour.
Yeah, Katie with a D.
1 out of 5. She says not worth getting bit up by the bed bugs, and owner doesn't care and will not refund you. I stay there a few times and I get bit by bed bugs every time. That's just stupid.
Yeah, you shouldn't come
So
back.
you do the same thing over and over again and you expect different results. That is the definition.
Of insanity. 100%.
I took the sheet off the mattress and the mattress looked like somebody got murdered on them.
Well, that was your first
Was it an
mistake.
outline of tape in the shape of a body?
Probably blood.
We also found rotting meat in the microwave.
Ooh.
So dead meat doesn't make you leave the room? And she stayed there many times. Good Lord. And there's trash shoved behind the dressers.
And trash shoved behind.
They also don't clean very well. Well, Katie,
Duh, we know that.
We know that.
There's rotting meat in the microwave. They definitely don't clean very well.
If you want a cheap, decent, clean place with no bugs,
WIT.
go to Travel In and Lug Off by the McDonald's.
I mean, she's specific. Travel in and log off.
Well, guess what I did next?
You went to the Travel in
I
and
went
log
to the
off?
Travel In and Lug Off, which is over there by Camden.
By the McDonald's.
By the McDonald's.
And it is...
Not much better.
No. What's...
Now, this is an employee pissed off giving them a review. I thought this was great.
All right.
So she gave him a 1 out of 5.
Tabitha.
Tabitha Wilson at the Travel In and Lug Off. I worked here and was told we could not talk to guests even if they were the ones talking. And the manager would watch the front desk employees work and call mad if a guest was asking questions or anything other than checking in and out. However, housekeeping stole a bunch of money out of the guest rooms one day, and the same manager refused to watch the camera and find out who did it. Nor did he fire anyone. So if you stay here, remember, now to talk. I think they meant, I'm not even going to put words. They said now to talk to the front desk employees and don't leave you stuff in the room. It will be stolen and the manager won't do anything about it. Also, it's known a couple of the housekeepers don't change the sheets.
Okay.
Thanks, Tabitha.
So,
She knows she's an insider.
if you're over at Deluxe Inn and that's too rough for you, you're going to head over to the Travel In by Lug Off to have your money stolen and sleep on dirty sheets.
But it's next to the McDonald's, so you can get your biscuit in the morning,
That's why them sheets are so dirty.
your Big Mac at lunch, and your chicken sandwich, which is brand new,
For dinner.
for dinner. All with a large fries and a Coca-Cola that only costs you $1. And no, we are not sponsored by McDonald's. It's just my favorite fast food restaurant.
I was so happy to get back in the South and get a Coke yesterday.
Oh, yeah, they're all Pepsi up there, aren't
No,
they?
the Coca-Colas up there are bottled up there. And they're flat. Like, there's less carbonation
Do you
or
think
something.
they don't like carbonation up there?
That's what it's like. Maybe there's a limit on how much carbonation they can use per bottle
It is
in
California.
New
'cause
York. I was in New York, not California.
It's the same place.
Similar, extremely.
Except, aren't they a little more normal on the upstate?
Yeah, but still, the bottling company up there is probably regulated on how much carbonation they can put per bottle, so it's less. Look, the Coke bottled up north is not as good as the Coke. There's no burn. You know when you take a sip of Coke and it has that burn?
Yeah,
It's missing that up north.
that's a shame.
And we basically had to get back to Tennessee.
Did you try Dr. Pepper, see if it was the same?
In Kentucky, we had Dr. Pepper, and it had that burn, but it was fountain. So I think that's the thing. You have to get a fountain drink.
It's hard to regulate a fountain.
Exactly. And they can add more carbonation.
Or maybe they're just used to it being stale-like.
They wouldn't know a good Coke if it bit them.
That's a shame. Do
It does
they have
suck.
Little Debbie's up there?
I went a whole week. I didn't look.
Swiss rolls?
I didn't look.
God dang it.
My grandmother cooks, man. She's like a championship
When
baker.
we go see Dale Jr. drive Sundrop,
We're getting Swiss rolls.
just in case, I'm stopping at Walmart on the way home, getting some Swiss rolls.
Just what? They don't sell them here.
Dude, we're kind of
Oh, so when we
North
go
Carolina's up north,
yeah, up north, and we're going to like.
and it's Pepsi land.
We're going
Should I
to-
get a 12-pack of mini Cokes too?
I think you'll be able to find Coke. She'll be all right.
Yeah, I guarantee we go to a restaurant. There
We
you
were
go.
up there for the Coke 600 at Charlotte, and those
Yep,
Cokes
sure.
were good. So we'll be
Oh,
all right.
yeah, they were good.
It's only 80 miles north
But what
of
if
Charlotte.
there's a Pepsi was invented in North Carolina?
But I'm
dude.
just saying they'll still sell it at one of the many convenience stores in North Wilkesboro.
Isn't Dale? Dale's a Pepsi guy.
Well, we'll just
Dale-
have to drink Sundrop.
So, do you think Dale would hire us because we like Coke?
Maybe. He was a Mountain Dew guy. And then Sundrop, so.
Sorry, Dale. You're not listening anyway, but sorry. So, last but not least, we got a Wyndham.
I was hoping you had a Wyndham in here, man. I was
Travel Lodge by Wyndham.
I was getting a little sad at first thinking there was no Wyndham in this week's episode.
So, this is just north of there. Across the North Carolina kind of. Why am I tongue tied? North Carolina line, where Fort Bragg is, and my brother-in-law was in the 82nd Airborne. So I know this place is off the chains. I mean, off the chains. I mean, really.
What's his name?
Scott.
No, the guy that left the review.
Oh, it's Cody Bishaw.
Vishal.
Oh, I thought you were asking my brother-in-law's name.
No, I got stuck on
Mr.
this dude's last name here, Bishal.
I asked him if they actually, my brother-in-law, not
Yeah.
Cody,
Yeah,
if they actually scream Geronimo when they jump out of an airplane.
do they?
High altitude jumps, yes.
Only on high altitude?
Well, if you're too low, you don't want to be heard
Oh, okay.
by the bad guys,
Really?
the enemy,
Okay.
by the Russians or
Is there a
Ukrainians.
chance they could hear you, though?
Well, they probably hear the plane if they're flying that low, right?
Exactly. So why would it matter what you say?
Unless there's some stealth mode.
Say G.I. Joe.
We'll get Scott on here one day. We'll get him as a guest. But anyway, Cody gave it a 1 out of 5. He said there's only 2 small towns with hair in them.
Ooh. Oh, man, I'd be done.
TV remote not working.
I would have never found out about the TV remote being broke if I'd have found hair
Mini
in a towel.
fridge with mold in the freezer.
Oh,
How's there mold in the freezer? It's frozen.
that's nasty. Probably ain't working.
It got unplugged.
Yeah.
No comforter on the bed. Only a small, thin blanket. AC barely working. Hard, uncomfortable bed. Dirty, streaky mirrors. Pull clothes with no warning before booking. Can't forget the crowd of slumped heroin addicts in front of our room, or the drug dealer next door, or the large family arguing in front of our room. Felt completely uncomfortable and unsafe to the point where I didn't want to leave the room to complain. Wow, that's pretty bad.
Yep.
Would have stayed literally anywhere else, but could not find another hotel that would accept anyone under 21. Oh,
He was a kid.
there's the problem.
Looking to party.
Do not stay here. Well, Cody, that is the dilemma of everyone under 21
Yeah.
under the sun.
Sometimes you stay at a dirty hotel, and you just have to suck it up and accept it. So if he wasn't under 21, I think I'd have felt bad for him. All right, so we are going to Darlington.
Well, we're actually going to North Wilkesboro tomorrow.
Yeah, we are. Tomorrow. Me, you, and John. Should be fun. Can't wait.
So,
You think Dale Jr. is going to run good? He hasn't raced since like 96 in one of these things.
I think he'll be mid-pack, but he'll be very excited.
I think he'll finish top 5.
Wow. Really?
I mean,
I'm going to go 10 to
there-
20 back.
there's a reason he won as many races as he won. The dude's got talent. He hasn't
Hey, well,
lost
he
his
was an
talent.
Xfinity
He still
champion.
runs decent when he gets in the car once a year in the Xfinity series. So I say top 5, top 10 at worst. I mean, I'm with you.
right.
I see. You're
All
justified.
right, well,
on your
let's
pick.
make a bet here.
All right.
If he finishes 11 to 20, you have to drink a Pepsi on this show.
All right.
If he finishes, I'll give you all the way to 10. 1 to 10. I got to drink the Pepsi on the show.
All right. Yeah.
Ugh.
That's horrible.
Only half of it.
We'll do a mini Pepsi.
Yeah, but you got to buy a 12-pack to get a mini. They don't sell it at the store.
We'll just get a big one and pour half of it out. Just a small cup.
If he finishes
Pepsi's nasty, man.
21 back, we both have to drink the Pepsi.
All right. I'm in.
Or should it be a Mountain Dew? Since
I like Mountain Dew.
Maybe it should be a Sundrop. Oh, but then
yeah, but I like Sundrop.
All right. Well, we can't
we'll
do
just
that.
Do a Pepsi because we don't.
Sundrop's just
neither one of us likes Pepsi, so that's a good
nasty. Should we make it a sugar-free Pepsi?
Oh no, let's just leave it regular. Let's not make this any worse than it already is.
Let's not.
All right, Darlington is a 1.366 mile egg-shaped oval. Turns 1 and 2 are 25 degrees of banking, and turns 3 and 4 have 23 degrees of banking. It is an asphalt surface. It is owned by NASCAR. It will seat up to 47,000 people. It opened 72 years ago in 1950. The race is going to be on Sunday, September 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on USA Network and MRN on the radio. Fantasy stats for Darlington. Denny Hamlin has 20 starts here, 4 wins, and 15 top 10s. Kevin Harvick, 29 starts, 3 wins, and 18 top 10s. Martin Truex has 20 starts, 2 wins, and 10 top 10s. You got Kyle Busch with 21 starts and 1 win, 13 top 10s. Joey Logano has 17 starts, 1 win, and 9 top 10s. So Joey probably wouldn't be the best pick for here. Kyle Larson has 9 starts, 7 top 10s. Elliott has 11 with 5 top 10s. Earlier in the season when we raced at Darlington, your top 10 finishing order went to Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, Justin Haley, Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, Ricky Stenhouse, Austin Dillon, and Daniel Suarez.
Well, you must have got tired since you did these notes after your long drive, since you just went number on here. You didn't even say Reddick, Hamlin, Elliott, on Harvick. You just slapped those numbers down.
What do you mean?
Well, you got number 8, number 11, number 9, number 4.
Oh, yeah. That's my picks.
You were passing out then, weren't you? I'm not going to write their whole name out. I had to go to bed.
Look, Joey Logano only has 9 top 10s here and 17 starts. Yeah, he won here earlier this year. I still don't think Ford has been consistent enough to pick Joey again to win here. So I went with Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Kevin Harvick.
So I'm going Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, and Chase Elliott.
I mean, that's not bad picks. I think Denny will probably win it.
Yeah.
I think Denny's going to win the championship, so.
Well, will he retire after? He's won everything if he wins a championship.
Yeah. I don't think he'll retire. I think he's going to.
I think so.
Not until he gets to a point where he doesn't feel like he can win.
What if he sold FedEx on sponsoring his brother?
If FedEx wanted to leave Denny, I think he would leave then.
Have you noticed in the last 3 weeks, I know we're wrapping up the show, Kyle Busch has had a personality?
He has to be nice. He needs sponsors now.
Well, he should have thought about that 10 years ago.
15 years ago. Kyle Busch has been around for a long time. He's got 21 starts at Darlington. So
he's turning into Denny Hamlin in the last couple of weeks. I'm like, I like this guy. Where's he been?
I mean, I'm not going to go so far as to say I like him.
Oh, I didn't say that.
You said I like this.
Well, I like Denny Hamlin.
I like Denny. I don't like Kyle.
Didn't like him at the beginning of our podcast, or
I don't like Kyle's personality, though. That's when I say I don't like Kyle Busch. I don't like the arrogant.
I don't know if it's arrogance,
butthead.
But
it's just a butthead. It's just smile, dude.
He's not.
You're making $15 million a year and you finish second. And you get out and complain. Shut up. Be happy.
When I played baseball, I was one of the worst losers you'd run into. So I understand Kyle Busch. And we won a championship one year.
Yeah, but you weren't making $15 million a year.
No, I got lunch and dinner. I got dinner at home.
People looking up to you, idolizing you.
I got my free lunch, free breakfast at school.
Yeah.
Because we were dirt poor.
But like I said, I don't like Kyle's personality, but I like Kyle on the track. We need Kyle Busch in this sport.
We do.
His driving, his input, his opinion matters. And I'm glad to see he has his personality.
Well, maybe if he used some of his own money.
This good attitude of his is his normal personality. I think he plays into the bad boy or whatever.
I don't think he plays into it. He's so disappointed he lost.
So he doesn't try. Just try to do. You have sponsorship.
I think he's finishing as good as he can finish. Yeah, he's got.
No, I'm talking about try as far as not to be such a butthead. Yeah, try to be cool.
But Joe Gibbs has spoiled him to the point where I'll take care of the sponsor, you take care of driving.
I guess.
I mean, his brother turned it around.
See how that worked out for him. Here we go. 10 races to go in the season. Kyle Busch does not have a ride. But when Kyle does get a ride, we're going to have Dalton Good on the show. So if you're fans of Dalton, you'll be able to hear him here on the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast.
I remember his brother, when he got wrecked, was slapping his ass in turn 4.
Oh, yeah.
And was just as bad, but now we call him a diplomat for the sport. His attitude changed a lot.
I agree, and so could Kyle's, but I just don't see it happening. All right, that's all I got. You got anything else?
I got tons of stuff, but I ain't saying it.
All right, thanks to everyone who follows the show and keeps up with us. Thank you for sharing our show on social media.
I got
listening each week. What?
Pfaff T-shirt. It's a message to someone out there. Mail it to Brad and I. Now.
Check us out on Spotify and rate us. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. We're at Car Backwards. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. And check out our website at racecarbackwards.com. Other than that, that's all I got for you. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Have a great week. We will catch you after North Wilkesboro. We'll be checking in.
Maybe we should do a little...
we're going to check in on YouTube after Wilkesboro.
Should we bring the little microphone and the fuzzy?
Sure. We'll take it around
and...
Nah.
I can interview you.
We'll just do video. All right. You have a good week. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Race Car Spelled Backwards.